They could have closed the show with a bang. They had Shakur, they had Matthias, they had Morel. This card was a powder keg of talent, stacked with world-class killers ready to set the ring on fire. But when the dust settled, it was Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Sheeraz who were handed the spotlight, and fans aren't having it. Social media lit up the second the news broke. Disbelief turned into outrage. How did a fighter who just got embarrassed by Canelo and another still proving his worth end up headlining one of the most anticipated events of the summer? For die-hard boxing fans, it feels like a bait and switch, and they're not staying. Quiet fans didn't just raise eyebrows when news broke. X nearly exploded. The revelation that Turki Alalshik had chosen Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Sheeraz as the headliner for the July 12th card in New York didn't just disappoint people, it infuriated them. It was supposed to be a showcase of the sport's finest talent. A stacked night loaded with top-tier fighters, and somehow this was selected to top the bill? Most expected Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, or even the hard-hitting Subriel Matias to get the spotlight. But instead, the lights will shine on two fighters many fans argue haven't yet earned that stage. And to make it worse, Mike Coppinger didn't even name the headliner in his initial card reveal. It took Dan Rafael's quiet confirmation on X to let the world know it's Berlanga Sheeraz. And just like that, the outrage began to simmer. The backlash isn't just about disappointment, it's about principle. Boxing purists and casuals alike feel this main event is a slap in the face to the fighters with actual pedigree on the card. Think about it. Shakur Stevenson, a defensive maestro, taking on an undefeated southpaw like Zepeda in what could be a tactical war. Subriel Matias putting his WBC light welterweight crown on the line against the slick Alberto Puello. And David Ea, Morel, the dark horse of the division, facing Olympic killer Imam Khataev. These are fights with real stakes, real danger, real storytelling. And yet, none of them got the throne. Instead, it went to a Brooklyn brawler with more flash than fundamentals, and a British prospect with a solid record, but little crossover. Buzz. For fans, it felt like Turki Alalshik wasn't listening, not to the rankings, not to the resumes, and definitely not to the voices echoing across X. But if you look closer, this move wasn't random. It was calculated. Turki isn't just promoting boxing, he's promoting reach. By placing Sheeraz in the main event, he's opening the floodgates for UK PPV buys. British fans have been waiting for Sheeraz to break into the global scene, and now, with a headliner slot in a major American venue, that wait is over. The matchup might not be a purist's dream, but in terms of international pull, it's a shrewd business play. On the other side, Berlanga is no stranger to Barclays sellouts and loud New York support. Even after being schooled by Canelo, he still has a loyal Brooklyn following who'll show up and scream his name like it's Game 7 at MSG. This isn't a match about merit, it's a match about markets. Still, Berlanga's role in this drama is almost comical. He's become boxing's unintentional villain, arrogant, out of touch, and oblivious to how far his self-image strays from reality. His delusions of grandeur have become memes at this point. He talks like he's cleaned out divisions and sparked legends, yet his resume is paper thin, and his last big performance ended with him humbled and embarrassed. He may have a decent right hand and local hype, but the gap between his ego and his execution is laughable. It's like he's trying to be the bad guy in a story no one wrote for him. And maybe that's why he's still talked about, because fans can't decide if they want to see him win or watch him get knocked out. One thing's for sure. Once the bell rings on July 12th, all the noise fades and the truth gets its turn. Berlanga can't tweet his way out of another rough night, and Sheeraz won't have the comfort of British hype once the punches start flying. If either man wants to justify their spot at the top of this card, they'll need more than clever marketing or geographic loyalty. They'll need to deliver something unforgettable, something brutal, something real, because the crowd won't be forgiving. And if this main event turns out to be the dud people expect, it won't just be a blow to the fighters, it'll be a stain on Turkey's judgment and a reminder that boxing fans know when they're being sold hype over heart. It's not just that fans are mad, they feel robbed. With a lineup this stacked, expectations were through the roof. This card had the potential to be remembered as one of the greatest nights in recent boxing memory. You've got champions defending their honor, young killers clawing towards superstardom, and raw talent waiting to erupt under the bright lights. And yet somehow, the honor of closing the show went to a matchup that feels more like a regional showcase than a global headliner. It's like building a fireworks finale and lighting it with a sparkler. You can't give people filet mignon all night and then serve a gas station hot dog for dessert. For the hardcore fans who bleed this sport, it feels like a betrayal. Not just because Berlanga and Sheeraz don't have the resumes to back it up, but because this was our night. A chance to finally see boxing presented with the class, scale, and stakes it deserves. And instead, it's being headlined by a fighter who hasn't lived up to his own Instagram hype, and another who's still finding his identity in the ring. Yes, Berlanga can fill seats in New York, but can he carry the drama? Can he deliver a fight that makes people stand up and scream, not scroll through their phones wondering when Shakur fights? People didn't wait months for this event to watch Berlanga play tough guy against a Brit most American fans barely know. There's also a growing sense of unease around Turki Al-Sheikh's matchmaking decisions. Some fans are starting to wonder if this is about boxing or politics. Is Sheeraz being elevated because of personal preference? Is Berlanga being propped up because of marketability, not merit? No one's denying that Turki has done wonders for the sport recently. He's brought together promoters, booked dream fights, and injected real money into boxing at a time when it desperately needed it. But this move feels tone-deaf, like he's more focused on ticket sales than title stakes. It's a slippery slope, and if it continues, the fans might start turning on him faster than expected. That's what makes this moment so tense, because this isn't just about Berlanga or Sheeraz. It's about whether boxing is still for the fighters who earn their shot through blood and sweat, or for the ones who look good on a poster. It's about whether fans still matter, or if they're just wallets in the crowd. This card had a chance to remind the world why boxing is the most dramatic sport on earth. But if the main event flops, if Berlanga gets exposed or Sheeraz crumbles under pressure, it could leave a bad taste that no undercard classic can erase. All the brilliant matchmaking underneath might be forgotten, because the memory fans take home is always the last fight. So now the pressure is on. Berlanga and Sheeraz weren't just handed an opportunity. They were handed a spotlight that should have gone to someone else. That means they have to earn it in blood. Anything less than a war, anything short of a jaw-dropping finish will confirm what most already suspect, that this main event was built on business, not brilliance. The boos will be louder, the criticism sharper, and once the smoke clears in New York, the fans won't forget who gave them fireworks, and who gave them fluff. And now the burden is on them, Berlanga and Sheeraz, to deliver a miracle under the bright lights of New York City. No more talk, no more hype, just fists, heart, and violence, because if they don't rise to the moment, they'll be remembered not as main event stars, but as the mismatch that hijacked a historic card. And for Turki Al-Sheikh, it'll be a test of trust. If this gamble falls flat, the cheers will turn to questions, and the questions into doubt. July 12th could have been a celebration. Instead, it's become a high-wire act with no safety net.